Welcome to Saladita Beach. Known as a long boarders paradise, this beach has one of the longest left-hand breaks outside of Malibu. But Malibu is a right-handed break, and that's why they call this beach Ubalam. Ubalam, they call it, which is Malibu backwards, because this is like the same place, but upside down or reversed. Now, we were just hanging out at this awesome little cafe, which is only just open, and it's been open for 5 days. It's called Mareta. It's a brand new cafe which opened up right beside Lourdes, which is like the established shop. They actually threw a New Year's party. Right here, right now, we're in Saladita Beach.
Venga.
New Year's.
7,
Go look over there.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. ¡Feliz Año Nuevo! Yeah, felicidades, gracias a todos por
Because we were here New Year's, and what do you know? A music festival showed right up.
For those surfer types that want to ride the wave machine, there's several shops and lessons that you can sign up for and rent boards. They're not hard to find, just wander around and look at the signs. For accommodations, there's several apartments and cabins for rent, and for those with a budget, you can even rent detached houses. The weather is nice and tropical year-round, which makes it a great place to escape to, especially if you're looking for that low-key and natural experience. It's very safe, kids and dogs friendly. Let them run wild. But I would bring a first aid kit for emergencies. It's a small town vibe, and I'm a big fan.
Here is a surf shop where you can rent longboards for 250 pesos a day, unless you can get a better deal than that. You probably can, but that's what I paid. Maybe I'll buy a longboard eventually, but until then, I'll just rent them. And you know what? It ain't that bad. And they have places to stay, so I'm staying right up there on the top floor. Pretty modest little apartment in there. It does the job. Shelter. Seems nice. The AC runs cold. Apparently the guy said when he was moving out. And we're gonna get some dinner and get situated. Welcome everybody to the La Mareta Cultural Center, where I have one of the organizers and owners and amazing singers as well, Renee Mooi. It's my sincere pleasure to be able to interview her today. Hello Renee, how are you doing?
Thank you so much. Good.
Renee, where were you created?
Well, I was created and conceived in Mexico City, and both of my parents are Mexican, and I grew in a music family. You know, all my life, all my uncles were like musicians, and they used to play piano, harmonica, guitar. All of the music was. That's how I grew up. I started singing when I was 4, and my mom taught me how to sing, and then I started like doing it sort of professionally when I was 7.
Hermosa huipil, llevada llorona que la Virgen te creí. hermoso huipil lleva llorona cuando al final yo te vi.
And got like studied when I was like pretty young. I stopped studying traditional school to focus on working in music. I started just dedicated my life to music overall. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of learning. I was discovered by an agent in Romania when I was 16. I was a pop star in Romania when I was 17, #1, Eurovision.
Para echarle de cabeza, otra vez tira para la calle el polvo para morder y estamos.
All of these things, and then I quit. I quit because I wanted a more authentic life, and I wanted something that kept me more healthy and more connected and more congruent with who I am. And so I came back to Mexico and did alternative music, and now I'm here in Mareta. I work with the government as well in international relationships through music. So I feel very blessed and happy that I can be here connected with nature and beautiful people and just sharing some music and art.
Puedo seguir lamentando el pasado, cargando tu bandera, sintiéndome el malo. Si es una tortura quedarte a mi lado, si cada momento es tan delicado, yo quiero que te dejes ser libre, sea con quien sea ser libre. Yo todo lo que queda te sabe a pecado. Esto es una pena y que tragas a un lado si te hago tanto daño. Señálame para dónde voy. Se está quemando, se está quemando. Se está quemando, se va quemando, se va quemando. De todo lo que hemos pasado, después de todo lo que hemos pasado, después de todo lo que hemos pasado, después de todo lo que hemos aquí, después de todo lo que hemos pasado, después de todo lo que hemos pasado, después de todo lo que hemos pasado, después de todo lo que hemos aquí, por todo lo que Muchas gracias.
I just felt like I was part of this machine, and I was actually really wondering, like, is this what life is about? Is this like what being an adult is about? Like just like over and over on the semicircle trying to sell something? And I was starting to get very disappointed with that idea of life. And then the pandemic arrived, and I had it was very scary, obviously, like a lot of emotions and a lot of uncertainty, but it gave me the opportunity to stop. And it was very interesting to realize what happens when you stop and you have time to be creative again and to explore that. And I was here living in a cabin on my own with my husband Scott, and I just focused in creating and connecting, and it was a beautiful experience. I really appreciate like the chance to stop the world.
How did you discover this place, Saladita?
Yeah.
What was your introduction? Is there a story there? Or?
Well, my husband is a surfer,
Yeah.
so
there it
like
is.
he's chasing waves. I used to go to Oaxaca mainly, and then he brought me to discover. He's Australian. He brought me to discover this place, and I fell in love with it. It's so raw. It's really raw, and it's like still a bit like it's discovered but undiscovered still.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just really. It just the vibe is really clean, you know. It's nice. People like locals are super friendly. Everyone appreciates like whatever you want to share, whatever you want to give, whatever you are.
Que cuando las mueve el viento llorona.
You know, people are curious because there's not a lot going on, so people are still curious about you.
Que cuando las mueve el viento llorona, parece que están llorando. Ay, de mí, llorona, 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 del campo santo. Ay.
I find that this place is kind of like it's like a little secret gem.
Yeah.
You know, that only a few people know about.
Yeah.
Only a few people. And yeah, like what you said, the vibe here is just it's so good, pure.
Yeah.
And you had a new band, right, on New Year's. That was I thought I heard you say that was your first performance.
See, it
with
was.
the new
Yeah.
guys. So tell me about your band. What's it called?
Well, it's a solo project.
Yeah.
I'm Renee Mooi,
Renee Mooi.
and I wrote those songs in the pandemic. I had an album before, but it was kind of a progressive electronic industrial trip hoppy.
Yeah.
Like right after, yeah.
Okay.
Like right after everything that happened in Romania, that was very poppy, very commercial, I just came and I wanted to explore. But I was kind of angry, you know, so all the music sounds a little bit like angry, just like letting out and breaking all of this like barriers that I felt that I had. And now in the pandemic, it was more of a connected more with the people here, with local music, like Mexican music, urban styles a little bit more pop, but with like just like a beachy flavor and like trippy. So yeah, that's what I did in the pandemic, all of that album, and I'm very, very excited to bring it out.
I'm excited too, and hopefully we can get a sample song and we can play it.
Maybe.
Tell me about like there was other artists at this little festival that you put together.
Yeah.
You put that together what in like 2 weeks or something?
Yeah.
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 So you had people coming from Sinaloa, Argentina,
See, Venezuela, France.
and these are all people that you met in Mexico City.
Yes, we run. We have a art collective, you know, artist collective. It's called Mooi Collective, and we used to have a cultural center in Mexico City, pretty big, like for 800 people, and we had all kinds of talent there. Like everybody from all over the world would come there to share and to know local talent. So we showcased and curated local, like Mexican talents and Latin American talents to share with international talents. We got to do things with Cigarettes After Sex, War Paint, the Rasmus, like the Brian Jonestown Massacre, like incredible people who came to this place to know the Mexican people, the Mexican scene, the Mexican art. And so we were like hosts of all of these like incredible talents. And that created like a big network, like of people that wanted to change like the perspective of just working on your own to working collectively, working together, creating strategies of collective growth. And it was very interesting to see like how important is community when you're doing art.
Yeah.
In Mexico, it's very like it has always been like a very individual road, like a very individual process. You know, there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of people. So sometimes, not only in music but in general, we need to learn to work together. And like the idea of this collective is that. So they all came here supporting the idea of having a cultural space, a cultural center in such a magical place and have an experience together. It was beautiful. I love them very much.
It is beautiful. It is like a tropical paradise campground. There's these little bungalows that you can rent out and stay in a nice kind of, you know, you're not all crammed together in condos or something like that. Everyone has kind of their own space. You can have campfires here. So we're hanging out at this amazing little cafe. It's called Mareta. And what a great place to spend the end of your day after a day of surfing than at Mareta. So you can get these wonderful iced coffees, they have cocktails, they have entertainment. So come on down and visit Playa La Saladita. It's a beautiful beach. It's only about a half an hour, 40-minute drive from Zihuatanejo, Iztapa. You want to get away from it all and come to a really cool surf spot. It's all about surfing here. It was established in the 1970s and they only just got power around 2000. So this is a very, very new and secret place. So I need you to not tell anyone about it and don't ever come here. Just kidding. We made some wonderful new friends. A lot of musicians from Mexico City like to come here and hang out and jam. And it's a bit of a community starting to form in the music scene. So it's super cool. It's super new. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Mexpat show with me, Sean Allman, your host, bringing you the best of West Coast Mexico. You come out and have some coconuts in the Mexpat show, baby. Sean Allman, what's up? See you later. Peace out. Love you. One love.